History tried to erase them, chains tried to break them, and every no sharpened their yes. Black women turned pain into power, exclusion into excellence, and odds into opportunity. Tonight, we ride that current from the Underground Railroad to orbit, from schoolhouse steps to corporate suites. It proves one truth: when the world says impossible, black women rewrite the dictionary. Harriet Tubman didn't wait for freedom. In 1849, she slipped from a Maryland plantation, then returned 19 times to lead others through dark woods. A $40,000 bounty never outweighed her price on freedom. She carried a pistol and a hymn. Her choice was courage or death. As a Union spy, she led 700 enslaved people to safety in the Combahee River Raid, the first woman in U.S. history to command an armed expedition. Freedom was her direction, north by night, always forward. Ida B. Wells lost parents at 16, fought to feed her siblings. In 1884, she bought a first-class train ticket. When told to move to a segregated car, she bit the hand that tried to drag her and got thrown off. That moment birthed a journalist who counted every lynching, printed truth, and shamed America in Britain. Her pen and press became weapons mightier than any mob. Her Southern horrors still echoes. The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them. Sojourner Truth. 6 feet tall, with a brass bell voice, walked off an estate in 1826 with her infant daughter. She found refuge and sued for her son's return, the first black woman to win such a case. In 1851, she asked trembling Akron preachers, "Ain't I a woman?" Each syllable cracked myths of female frailty and racial hierarchy. She sold postcards to fund speeches, turning self-image into self-funding centuries before selfies. Mary McLeod Bethune, 15th of 17. Born to formerly enslaved parents in 1875, she picked cotton until a missionary asked, "Would you like to read?" That question opened a universe. She vowed every black child would learn. With $1.50, she founded a school that became Bethune-Cookman University. As highest-ranking black woman in government under Franklin Roosevelt, she used her seat to uplift communities. Her final will: "I leave you love." Bessie Coleman saw a barnstormer looping over Texas and declared, "It's me." Barred by American flight schools, she learned French, sailed to Paris in 1920, earning the first international pilot's license for any black person. She returned to segregated U.S. soil, refusing to perform where black audiences were banned. Every air show spiral declared the sky integration uncluttered by Jim Crow. When mechanical failure ended her life at 34, 10,000 mourners looked upward. Edmonia Lewis chipped marble in Rome, where male sculptors expected her to fail. Instead, she carved the death of Cleopatra, a 6-ton masterpiece stunning Philadelphia's 1876 Centennial Expo. Neoclassical Europe wanted Greek gods. She gave them black and indigenous heroines, proving beauty could be both brown and chiseled. Shipping costs sank her into temporary obscurity, but her chisel had cracked the marble ceiling. Fannie Lou Hamer, youngest of 20, a sharecropper singing hymns over microphones. after a forced hysterectomy, a routine Mississippi appendectomy, she tried to register to vote in 1962. The registrar fired questions like bullets. She failed, returned, and passed. Beaten till her kidneys shifted, she walked out humming, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." Her televised 1964 DNC testimony peeled back Dixie's veneer, forcing America to watch. The Voting Rights Act carries her fingerprints. Diane Abbott stood for Parliament in 1987 as headlines screamed unelectable. Hackney voters sent her anyway, making her the first black woman in the British House of Commons. She faced racial slurs, death threats, and media fixation on everything but policy. 3 decades later, she's voted in more Commons divisions, steered immigration debates, and mentored activists now wearing "Diane told you so" buttons. Angela Davis raised a fist in 1972 from a California courtroom, facing death on trumped-up charges. A global campaign made her the face of political imprisonment. After 18 months in solitary, she walked free, traded curls for afros, and spent 50 years teaching justice is intersectional. From critical resistance to prison abolition, her classroom is everywhere, from Oakland community centers to German lecture halls, reminding students that walls turn cages into universities if the mind stays unshackled. Mae Jemison brought a poster of Bessie Coleman aboard Endeavour in 1992, becoming the first black woman in space. She danced in zero gravity to the cosmic dance, proving physics has rhythm. Back on Earth, she founded a tech company to bring telemedicine to remote villages, because exploration without service is just tourism. Girls in 17 time zones watched a woman who looks like them step into a room Constitution writers never imagined. Every tie-breaking Senate vote channels the 19th Amendment and the Voting Rights Act. Oprah Winfrey turned a Mississippi birth certificate stamped illegitimate into a billion-dollar invitation to the world's living rooms. She built a studio, then a network, then a school for South African girls now sitting in parliaments and tech incubators. When she says, "You get a car," she's also saying, "You get possibility," because visibility is its own economy. Marie Van Britten Brown, a nurse in 1960s Queens, had a husband often away. Crime rose. Police response was slow. She rigged a motorized camera to a peephole, added a two-way microphone and an alarm, filing a patent in 1966. Today, over 30 million home security systems echo her design, yet most users never hear her name. Innovation born of necessity. That's the oldest story black women keep writing, often invisibly. Ruby Bridges integrated William Frantz Elementary at 6, escorted past screaming crowds by federal marshals. One woman threatened to poison her daily, another held a black baby doll in a coffin. Ruby prayed for them each morning before she walked the gauntlet. She now tours schools, asking kids, "What bridge will you cross?" Their raised hands are extensions of her 6-year-old backbone. Mary Seacole funded her own passage to Crimea after Florence Nightingale rejected her. She built the British Hotel from driftwood and scrap iron, served tea to wounded soldiers under cannon fire, returning bankrupt but alive. Journalists called her the Creole with the saucy tongue. She replied, "I have a good will and a good knife, and I use both." Her gravestone reads, "Mother of the British Army, paid for by veterans who remembered her kindness." If these stories are rewriting something inside you, hit subscribe and ring the bell so the algorithm knows resistance is relevant. Share this with someone who thinks history is boring. Prove them wrong together, Audre Lorde wrote. There is no such thing as a single-issue struggle because we do not live single-issue lives. From her cancer battle sprouted the Black lesbian feminist movement, showing the personal isn't just political, it's planetary. Her words headline conferences worldwide, reminding activists that justice must be plural, or it's merely privilege protecting itself. Tarana Burke birthed #MeToo in 2006 to center Black girls in Alabama, long before hashtags trended. A decade later, the phrase swept the globe, but she keeps returning to Selma community centers, listening to teens who whisper, "Me too," for the first time. Virality is a moment. Movement is decades. Kimbrel Crenshaw coined intersectionality in 1989 to explain why a Black woman fired from General Motors couldn't sue for race plus gender. Today, the term is courtroom evidence, corporate DEI training, and TikTok fodder. Proving theory born in Black women's lived experience can reshape legal doctrine. Wangari Maathai planted 30 million trees across Kenya, dodging riot police. When a squad bulldozed her nursery, she replanted seedlings in her hair. In 2004, she accepted the Nobel Peace Prize, telling diplomats conflict drops when roots grip soil. Every sapling is a quiet insurgency against climate chaos and gender exclusion. Naomi Osaka stepped onto the 2020 U.S. Open court wearing a mask bearing Tamir Rice's name, turning Grand Slam serves into subpoenas for justice. She withdrew from the French Open, citing mental health, reminding the world even superstars are human. Sponsors wavered, then doubled down, learning Black women's rest is resistance. Beyoncé turned Coachella into a homecoming for an HBCU culture she never experienced. Because Black women build belonging wherever they stand. When she sampled Lift Every Voice and Sing inside a pyramid of brass bands, she archived oral tradition inside a Bayhive drop, proving pop can be syllabus. From Tubman's night trains to Osaka's masks, from Bethune's $1.50 to Beyoncé's pyramid, Black women trade impossibility for legacy. Their resilience isn't magic. It's meticulous, a daily decision to breathe freedom into spaces designed to suffocate. Remember these stories when headlines claim progress is finished. Remember them when you vote, mentor, invent, or simply get out of bed on days the world feels too heavy. This lineage continues with every girl who raises her hand, every woman who refuses erasure, every ally who passes the mic. History is still being written in this time. No page turns without them.